my channel. I hope you all liked the video yesterday. Today I'll be teaching you a slightly different trick, and I'll be focusing on card steals and controlling the card. So for today's trick we'll be using two cards that I'll reveal in a minute. And in this trick the spectator can choose any card they like. In this spread the spectator could pick out any one card. So for example, the spectator picks out this card, the 4 of clubs. Now we could take the 4 of clubs, shuffle it somewhere in the middle of the deck and absolutely lose it. We could give the deck a few cards, break it up into different piles and mix up the orientation of the deck. We could also give it a nice riffle shuffle and just completely lose the spectator's deck right in the middle of the deck somewhere, out of our control. So we'll be using these two cards for this trick, and these two cards are the King of Clubs and the King of Spades. So I'm going to use these two cards to find your card. So in this spread, your card could be anywhere, and I'm going to use these two kings to tell me where your card is. So I'll just be listening to the kings very softly, and I think that they think your card's here, somewhere here. So either this is your card or this, but we know that these aren't your cards as we've already seen your card. So I guess the kings are really trying to tell us that your card is somewhere here in the middle, an imaginary card. So try to imagine the 4 of clubs and wait for the kings to find it right about now. And there, the kings have found the 4 of clubs. Hey guys, I hope you liked that trick. I'm going to teach you the trick in a minute, which is why I've kept the kings aside. But first I want to teach you a few basic maneuvers, a few controls like the pinky break and the thumb break, and also a few false shuffles. And while I'm teaching you the trick, I'll also show you how to steal a card from the deck. So let's begin with the pinky break. So what we do is, we ask the spectator to choose a card, any card. And let's say it's the 9 of hearts. Then what we do is, we cut the deck anywhere and the spectator could simply place their card and we keep the rest of the packet on top. Now according to the spectator, it's one packet. But we know that it's split into two different packets because my pinky is there to hold a break. So what you do is, you ask the spectator to place your card and then you simply keep the packet on top, but you make sure that your pinky is there to keep a break, like this. You use your thumb to pressure and your 3 fingers on the other side to apply pressure, so that from the front it creates a perfect illusion that is just one deck and not split into two halves where we are controlling the spectator's card. That's one form of control, and then you could simply control the deck by making 3 different packets and then controlling their card to the top. Now another method you could use is the thumb break. So what you could do is simply slide in the spectator's card at the back of the deck like this and apply pressure with your thumb, moving it slightly downwards and sliding it into the deck. That what happens is, it creates a perfect break and then you can find the spectator's card. So I'll just show it to you once more. You simply slide in the middle of the deck, use your thumb to apply pressure and push the card downwards as you push it into the deck as well. So it will create this perfect break, and then you could simply cut the deck once, or you could make 3 separate packets and then make it look like you're changing the order of the cards. And that is the thumb break, controlling the card to the top. And now a few false shuffles to make the trick even more believable is the overhead shuffle that I showed you yesterday, but it's a bit more controlled. So you simply take the top card off because you control the spectator's card to the top and shuffle the rest of the deck, and this way their card is controlled to the bottom, and then you do the same thing again, except this time instead of sliding off the top card, you just slide off the bottom card at the end, making sure their card ends up at the top. Now another shuffle you can use is the riffle shuffle, but you have to be a bit more focused, and a small little trick I like to do is emphasize upon how you're losing the spectator's card right in the middle. So when you're doing the shuffle, you want to make sure that the spectator's card ends up on top, right? And you want to focus while doing this. So while you're shuffling, you say what this does is you're losing your card in the middle completely. And because you're saying this slowly, it creates an emphasis, but also allows you to focus on the cards. And that way you control the spectator's card to the top. Now in this trick, we can use any 2 face cards and they should be the same color. So you could use 2 red jacks or 2 black queens. I like to use the black kings personally. And how this trick works is, we begin with the 2 face cards face down, and then we ask the spectator, we tell the spectator that we'll show them these cards in a moment. But first, we ask them to choose a card. They could riffle down till here and they could choose the 4 of hearts. Now what we do is, we use a control like the pinky break. So let's use the pinky break. I find it very easy to do. It's one of my favorite controls. It's very simple, very quick to do, and usually doesn't get caught. And now we've controlled the spectator's card to the top. You could also do a few false shuffles like the overhead shuffle, the basic one that I showed you, where you control the spectator's card right to the top, or you could also do the riffle shuffle as I showed you and simply control the spectator's card to the top again. And with practice you'll be able to do it faster and you'll be able to control their card at the top with more fluidity. So once you do that, once you control the spectator's card to the top, you use these 2 cards. And the reason you show it so late in the trick is because these 2 cards create misdirection. Now as you show these cards, it is common sense that the spectator would look at these 2 cards because you're showing the identity of 2 cards that you said you would show later, and you imply that only you know the identity of these cards. You also imply that you're going to use it in the trick. So it makes the spectator naturally curious. And because you're using this hand to show it, this hand is given a free space because no spectator is looking at it. So what you do is, as you pick up these cards, you're holding this deck like this. So as you pick up these cards, you tilt the deck, holding it horizontally, push this card off, the top card, which is their card, or catch a pinky break. So basically you push it off, slightly on top. So there's a gap here where you can easily insert your pinky, and then you catch a pinky break on top. And then you show the spectator that you're using the 2 kings. Now if you hold it like this, there's a slight tilt which the spectator might catch in live magic. So what you do is you show the kings and you keep this card tilted so the spectator cannot see that pinky break, and you simply use the kings and get it on top. And you're holding the kings, but you're also holding their card, and that's called a steal. So you keep the pinky break, you keep the kings on top, and you say, first I'm going to spread the card out. So you're implying that you're taking the kings off, but not only are you doing that, you're also stealing their card off the deck. And now what you do is, you keep this king. You've got the 2 kings, right? You've got the 2 kings with their card at the bottom. So you simply take off the top king and place it right here at the bottom. So it creates this sort of shape. You're holding the 2 kings. This king, the top one, has their card at the bottom. So when you split, it looks like the kings have got your card. So we keep the kings like this. You can also keep it squared up, keep it on the side, and then you could spread it out. One thing I personally like to do in live magic is make sure that the spectator shuffles the deck first and the spectator spreads it out, so that we have constant control of the angle of these 2 cards, because at no point we want this to be flashed. We don't want the spectator to know that we've got that card already, because that completely ruins the trick. So what we do is we spread out the cards, and in few scenarios you would catch this small break here if you don't get a perfect spread. And usually it doesn't look very neat, but in a case like this, it could work to your advantage. So what you do is, you've got this king, the next king, and their card here. So what you do is, you want to angle it slightly down so that this gap, which could be a possible gap, does not get seen. Only the king's face gets seen. And you say the kings are going to tell me where the card is. And as you go through, you stop right here at this gap, and you just spread it out a bit more. And you say the kings are telling me that your card is somewhere here. So it's natural for me to assume that either it's the 5 of clubs or it's the 10 of diamonds. But we, as the magician, already know it's not either of these. We don't know the identity of the card yet, but we know it's neither of these because we've controlled it back here. So the spectator would naturally say, no, these are not my cards. So we'd say, I guess then the kings are trying to tell us that we need to assume the card is here, like an imaginary card. And now we play with an imaginary card. We believe ourselves as an actual card in our hand so that the spectator does too. Because this once again creates misdirection. Because when you throw it, it looks like the card's actually caught. But if you throw the card from such a close distance, the spectator easily sees that split. And if you don't do it fast enough, the spectator would easily catch it. So what you want to do is you keep the imaginary card in your hand here and throw it, and at the same time, what you do is you literally hold the top king. You're applying pressure with your middle finger and your pointer finger here, holding the deck, applying pressure so that there's a strong base, and with the thumb you just slide off. You slide the king off, make it look like it's been caught. So in full time motion, it would look like you're playing with the card and you throw. And it looks like the card's been caught. And there we've got their card. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. And I hope you all saw the preview last time where I showed you how I made a card disappear, which I will be teaching you all tomorrow. So please do stick around for that. If you liked today's video, please do like and subscribe. And I hope you'll stick around for the rest of the week, as we've got a lot more to learn, a lot more tricks to do, and a lot more misdirection to show. Thank you.